Doorbell cameras were designed to keep us safe. But what if the very thing watching your home captures something you were never meant to see? Tonight, you're about to witness 5 of the most disturbing doorbell recordings ever caught. From strangers lurking in the shadows to things that simply shouldn't exist. These clips will make you rethink the safety of your own doorstep. Watch closely, because some of these recordings are still unexplained to this day. Let's begin with something that happened in California. A late-night alert that turned into a real-life nightmare. It was the summer of 2021, in a quiet California neighborhood. A young couple had just gone to bed when their phone buzzed. It was a notification from their Ring doorbell camera. Someone was at their front door. At first, they assumed it was a delivery mix-up, but when they opened the live feed, they froze. Standing on their porch was a man, completely motionless. His face hidden behind a plain, white plastic mask. He didn't ring the bell, he didn't knock. He just stood there, staring into the camera. For nearly 30 seconds, he didn't move a muscle until he slowly tilted his head, almost as if acknowledging someone inside. And then, it got worse. The man reached into his jacket and pulled out something that sent chills down their spine. A hammer. At first, he gently tapped it against the door. A faint thud, thud, thud. Then the tapping grew louder and louder until it sounded like he was ready to smash his way inside. And just when the couple thought it couldn't get any more terrifying, the man stepped closer to the camera, his masked face filling the entire screen, and smiled. The couple immediately called 911, but by the time police arrived, the man was gone. No footprints, no signs of forced entry. The video was later shared online and quickly went viral. But the masked stranger was never identified. To this day, no one knows who he was or what he wanted. What would you do if you saw this on your doorbell feed in the middle of the night? The next recording proves that sometimes what your doorbell captures isn't human at all. This happened to a woman named Rachel, who lived alone in a quiet suburban neighborhood. One night, at exactly 3:13 a.m., her phone buzzed with a Ring notification. Expecting to see a late-night delivery truck or maybe a stray animal, she opened the app and froze. On her porch, something pale was crawling on all fours, its movements jerky and unnatural, almost spider-like. At first, Rachel thought it might be a prank, but as she watched, the figure stopped, raised its head slowly, and stared straight into the camera. Its face looked wrong, pale, distorted, almost like a mask, but not quite. The longer she looked, the more it felt like something out of a nightmare. And then, without warning, the figure lunged forward. It crawled unnaturally fast toward the camera before the feed glitched into static for a split second. When the footage cleared, the porch was empty. No figure. Nothing. Rachel stayed up all night, with every light in her house on. The next morning, she called the police. They reviewed the footage, but they couldn't explain it. Some people online claim it was a person on drugs. Others believe something far darker was outside Rachel's door that night. What do you think it was? This next one is unsettling for a different reason. Because this time, the terror comes in the form of a desperate plea for help. It was just after midnight in a small Texas town when a homeowner was woken by his doorbell alert. When he checked the live feed, he saw a woman standing on his doorstep. She was barefoot, wearing a torn dress, and her face was streaked with tears. Through the microphone, he could hear her whispering the same words over and over again.
Please, let me in.
Please, let me in. The man froze. Something about the way she kept glancing over her shoulder, as if someone or something was chasing her, didn't feel right. Instead of opening the door, he called 911. As he spoke to the dispatcher, he kept watching the feed. The woman was still there, sobbing quietly, when suddenly she stopped. Her head snapped toward something out of frame, and then, without warning, she screamed, a blood-curdling scream, and bolted out of view. The man stayed on the line until police arrived minutes later. They searched the area, but found no sign of the woman, no footprints, no evidence anyone had been there at all. To this day, no one knows who she was or what made her run. If you were in that man's position, would you have opened the door? This fourth story is short, but it's one of the most chilling, and not because of what the camera saw, but because of what it almost missed. A couple was home during a late-night storm when they heard a series of soft knocks on their front door. They checked the live camera feed. Nothing. Just the empty porch, rain pouring down. But when they reviewed the footage later, they noticed something they hadn't seen before. For a split second, as the lightning flashed, the camera caught a figure standing behind the storm door. A dark silhouette, tall and motionless. The next frame, empty again. The couple enhanced the clip, trying to make sense of what they saw. That's when they noticed something that made their blood run cold. Two faint glowing points in the darkness, where the figure's eyes would have been. No one knows who or what it was, but the couple swears they never heard the door open, and they never saw anyone leave. Imagine finding that on your camera after thinking you were safe inside your home. The final recording on this list isn't just disturbing, it's deeply unsettling. Because what started as a simple security alert ended with a chilling message no one can explain. A man was out of town on a business trip when he received a notification from his Ring camera. He decided to check the live feed, expecting maybe a package delivery. Instead, what he saw made his stomach turn. Standing in his doorway was a person, perfectly still, their back turned toward the camera. They weren't moving, but their head. It was twitching, subtly, unnaturally, like a broken doll. He watched for several seconds, frozen in disbelief. Then, slowly, the figure tilted its head slightly to the side, as if it knew it was being watched. The man immediately called the police and begged them to check his home. He stayed on the line until they arrived. But when officers entered the house, the figure was gone. The front door was open, and everything inside looked untouched, except for one thing. On the wall near the entryway, someone had written a message in black marker. Thanks for letting me in. The handwriting was shaky, almost childlike. There were no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, nothing was stolen. And the person captured on camera? Never identified. To this day, no one knows who they were or what they wanted. What would you do if you found a message like that in your home? And those were 5 of the most disturbing things ever caught on doorbell cameras. Which one gave you chills? The masked stranger, the crawling figure, or that last one with the message on the wall? Let me know in the comments, I'll be reading them. And if you think this was terrifying, just wait until you see what dash cams have recorded on empty highways. Click here to watch that video next, if you dare. Stay safe out there, because you never know who might be at your door.